This episode of Now This Is Lit is brought to you by Audible. Check the link in the description to get your first Star Wars audiobook free. Everyone loves free things. Click that link. Do it. This show is also brought to you by our patrons. If you want to support the show in a different way, with just $1 a month, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. You can get a sticker. You can get access to an exclusive show that we do every month that's wild and chaotic and fun and something you can only get by becoming a member of the Patreon. There'll be so many more perks very, very soon. But for now, do you want a sticker? Do you want a sticker that has a Now This Is Lit logo? Because it's fantastic and I love them. But I also want to give them away because there's just a stack of stickers on my desk. So if you want one, $1 a month. Patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Now This Is Lit, a podcast about Star Wars books, the people who make them, and the readers who just can't get enough of them. I'm your host, Meg Dowell. I use she, her pronouns. I always like to say, there's a Star Wars book out there for everyone, but I rarely explain what this actually means. Sure, everyone has a favorite character, and there's probably at least one book featuring that character to some degree. Even Bo-Katan technically gets one book appearance. But it's not just about characters, or eras, or even story genre. Your favorite Star Wars book, or your favorite type of Star Wars book, says a lot about what means the most to you, and who you are as a person. One of my favorite Star Wars books of all time, for example, is Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. I wouldn't say that Ahsoka Tano is necessarily in my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters, but I'm generally really drawn to character-driven stories. That and the Rise of the Empire era is one of my favorites in all of Star Wars, because I like stories about hopeless people who find hope anyway. And that's what this particular era is all about. This narrative chronicles the journey toward Ahsoka's ultimate choice to commit to bringing down the Empire no matter the risk. There are lightsabers in this book and nods to the Clone Wars, and Bail Organa even shows up for part of it. But it isn't these things that win it a spot among my favorites. It matters to me because surviving trauma and using that experience as a weapon against oppression is a concept that matters to me. This is something I really didn't know about myself until I started to explore what it was about the Ahsoka novel that resonated with me so much. When I read it for the second time, I was surrounded by a lot of people who did not like it. And when I'm in that situation, in addition to listening to others' reasons for not liking something, I like asking myself questions about why the thing I like that others don't had such a positive impact on me. This is why our favorite Star Wars books matter. They can teach us just as much about ourselves as they can about a galaxy far, far away. Maybe your favorite Star Wars book is Kenobi by John Jackson Miller. I'm just picking one. It could be anything. Is it because Obi-Wan Kenobi is your favorite Star Wars character and Tusken Raiders are cool? Maybe. But it could also be because you resonate with stories about the strangers we come across in our lives, who may be around for a short time, but shift the trajectory of our futures in that brief period of space we share with them. Maybe you connect on a deep level with stories about people who are afraid to take a leap of faith, only to realize that the only way forward is to dive headfirst into the unknown. There will be Star Wars books that entertain you, Star Wars books that fill in gaps movies or shows couldn't cover. There will be books that take you to new fictional places, books that grant you a good love story, even books that are so fast-paced and filled with lore that you can't stand to just read them once and never pick them up again. But your favorite Star Wars books, the ones you keep coming back to, the ones you think about, and sometimes maybe even reference in your everyday life, are a viewport into your own soul. Try as you might, it may prove impossible not to learn more about yourself the more you explore the stories that matter to you most. They say that the best authors leave parts of themselves behind in their work, but it's also true that readers are changed by the books made for their hearts. Go to the place you keep your Star Wars books and pick out 3 of your favorites. Ask yourself why they resonate with you so deeply. How do their characters and events speak to you? What about them keeps you coming back for more? You don't always have to think about Star Wars books this way, but in the moments you do, pay attention to the themes that stay with you long after you've put the book down. These themes are your themes. They're the ideas that in turn spark your own. They're what inspire you to create, to innovate, to dream, to be. It's all fake and in space until it isn't. It's all hyperspace heroes and glowing swords until you remember that stories are told from human experience and are meant to mold and shape us, whether we mean for them to or not. It's the books you love in this faraway galaxy that define who you are meant to be when you close them, stand up, and face this uncertain world. Now This Is Lit is part of the Faraway Fandom Network. It is produced by Devor Montum and written, hosted, and edited by me. Jose Jimenez designed our podcast art. You can keep up with the show on Substack at Now This Is Lit, and find the show wherever you get your podcasts. There are so many ways you can support the show, and all of those ways are linked in the show description. The newest way is to become a member of our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get access to an exclusive show and a sticker. And if we get 500 people to support the Patreon per month, I can hire an editor. That would be great for me, and maybe for you too. So if you'd like to support the show with just $1 a month, you can do it that way. Or you can just keep listening and sharing the episodes. That is also helpful, and I appreciate it. For more book reviews and Star Wars Book Celebration, follow Star Wars Book Reviews on Instagram and TikTok.